Hello and welcome back to Blacklist Universe. I'm your host, Mike S. Miller, 33-year comic book industry veteran, and here on YouTube, and also doing a lot of live stream over on Whatnot. Whatnot is a fun little website and app where you can come watch people live stream drawing and also buy stuff that's in their buy it now bin, or sometimes they even do auctions. I haven't done any auctions yet, I'll be honest with you, but maybe when I build the channel up a little bit more. I'm only at about 300 followers right now, so if you want to jump over there or whatnot, and you can watch me live stream almost every day and get in the chat, talk it up, whatever, watch me draw. I've been doing a lot of sketch covers over there and really developing my cover work, or not my cover work, but my color work with these alcohol markers. I use Prismacolors. Most people use Copics, but I don't know. They're all the same to me. Anyways, I'm doing Wonder Woman today, as you can plainly see. I had to do a slight change to her head position. I just was not happy with it. And also, I realized that I need to tilt my camera down a little bit, so I started zooming in on it when I was doing the video editing, which I don't know. It kind of looks cool. It has a little shift up of the camera change and whatnot. Anyways, I'm doing the Wonder Woman basically in her classic 80s outfit because, I don't know, there's something that's nice and simple and classic about it. Yeah, I kind of hiked up her shorts a little bit so it didn't have 50 stinking stars on it. I remember when John Byrne took over Wonder Woman and he minimized the stars on her shorts to 3 stars. I'm doing something a little bit like that, but I wasn't referencing John Byrne at the time, so I'm not sure if I got it exactly right, but you can tell it's Wonder Woman, and it is inspired by the traditional Wonder Woman costumes of yore. And the way I'm doing the coloring on my covers, or even on my illustration pieces, is I do pencils. I try to erase as much of the pencils as I can before I go in with color. And then I go in, I use a fill light or a side light of a particular color because I just feel like it makes for a more interesting color palette than just doing basic one light source shading and one light source lighting, especially when you're doing color. And I remember this is something that in the past of my career, I used to do coarse shadows quite a bit on characters, because coarse shadows, when you're drawing, this is something you learn if you're or learn any real shading and stuff. Generally speaking, you never exist in a single light source world, right? This stark, black and white, there's one light, half of the character's in shadow. This almost never happens unless you're up on a stage or something, right? Because whatever your primary light source is, there's always going to be a secondary light source. I'm not even just go out in the sun, right? You go out in the sun, you stand in the sun is your primary light source. But does that mean everything on your body that is not actually facing the sun is in black, is in shadow? No. The light source coming from behind you would be the sidewalk, the trees, the sky, whatever it is that is creating a secondary, tertiary, quadriary, billionaire, whatever it is, that it's all lighting you up from behind as well. It's all light is reflective. It's all reflective light. So in this case here, yes, I'm doing a very stark, bright yellow light source, but in normal situations everywhere, your primary light source creates a shadow, right, that curves around. You have shadows that go around the source, giving the shape to the object. And then you have a secondary light source that is less intense, and so it creates what's called a core shadow. I don't know how to do it without because I'm not showing you as I'm doing it, but you can see what I'm talking about. Consider the yellow here, your secondary light source, and as I grant you, it's very, very stark. The primary light source creates the shadow in the form. You have the highlights, the tints, the tones, the hues, and then it curves around. And then before it gets to its, the back of the object is being lit up by the other light sources that overcomes the shadow point, which I mean, it's called the core shadow. So it creates this core line that defines the shape of not the edge, but prior to getting to the edge of, there's probably, look, there's resources here on YouTube. You can go to the Watts Atelier website. You can go to the Ron Lemon website. There are artists' sites will teach you about all of this stuff in a way that's not just somebody trying to explain what he's doing on a on a sketch cover. Which, oh man, I hate the fact that we call these sketch covers, because I'm doing illustrations. I'm doing like full bore, you could print this in a magazine level illustrations, and I'm selling them quote unquote as sketch covers on Whatnot. This one, by the way, is still available. When I don't have an actual commission on hand, I will use my time live streaming on Whatnot to make other content in order to go into my bin and to make these videos. So I have content for this channel while I'm doing content live streaming on Whatnot. Again, the link is in the description. Please do go join over there. Or if you want to sell over there as an artist or whatever, they have, look, it's like Craigslist. There's a category for freaking everything. But, for me and for my artist friends, you want to go over there and sell as an artist, I'll throw the link in there as well. Yeah, core shadows, I've been doing this on all of these, and I've been really getting good. Well, I'm really learning these markers. And I feel like just in the past 3 weeks of doing these, I have really built up my skill set there, and I'm hoping to continue to get better. I don't know, maybe I should watch some other videos and see what kind of tips and tricks other marker artists out there have, because I've never bothered with that. I'm just kind of learning all this stuff on my own. And you'll see also I've been zooming in here. I don't know if I mentioned it earlier in the video. I might have clipped that part out. But I'm kind of zooming in because my camera wasn't pointed down low enough. And so I've been getting cut off on some of the art. I actually clipped some of the video out because I was drawing off panel, and I tend to draw really like close to myself, which is at the edge of my desk, which obviously you can tell that can run into some problems here and there. Gold. Should I say something about designing gold? I use light yellow, then a regular yellow, and then sort of brown oranges to create the reflective elements in the gold. I think it came out pretty well. I went in here and actually used red ink, because I have red and blue ink, and with my brush, so I could get a better, more controlled line to do the bullet bouncing off of her bracelet. And then I finally go in here with the ink. And again, the reason I do what you'd kind of call a watercolor version of this is where, you go in and you do all the colors first, and then you go in with your inks at the end. I do it because alcohol markers will whack. It will bleed the hell out of India inks. So I'm using, Winsor Newton or Dr. P.H. Martin's Black India. And yeah, when you rub a alcohol marker over that, it just loosens up all of that carbon and just spreads it. So you don't want to use real high quality inks before you color. If you're going to use markers, go ahead. It seems like, there's no problem with alcohol markers over Copic multiliners, or what are those other ones that I don't like using? Anyways, all of those little, the markers that most other artists are using to do sketch covers and whatnot. But I'm taking each of these color covers as a serious illustration. So gosh, I hate to say that, because it's like, I have used markers as serious illustration tools, and a lot of these guys do it. And I'm sure in large part because you don't have a problem with the alcohol markers ruining your line work or smudging and just ruining your colors. But for me, I kind of like the process. As I've gotten used to it, I really like the process of building out all this, because relying on the colors to do the heavy lifting for the shading and the toning, the core shadows, etc., etc. And then going in and just tying everything together. It almost feels like it brings it all to life. And you know what? It's weird. It might actually be boring for the viewers to, like, you know, not quite understand what I'm doing with colors as I'm laying them down, but then like seeing how you know, look at how contrasty the colors on her face looked like prior to me throwing the black on there, because the black becomes the darkest part of the contrast, and then that harsh core shadow on her cheek just really like mellows out, right? And then what seemed like a harsh core or a harsh shadow under her chin, it all mellows out compared to the blacks. So it does make sense, but it's like while you're going through the process, you can sit there and go, what in the heck is he doing? Why does it look like that? He shouldn't be doing it. And then like you don't want to be too bashful with your colors when you're building up from light to dark, because then it would just be so flat and toneless, hueless. It'd be almost like flat colors if you were, you know, again, being too bashful. I don't even think that's the right word. But yeah, again, if you're gonna let the colors do the heavy lifting, then you have to be willing to understand the difference between just doing a color piece and doing a inked piece with colors. It's not the same thing. It's really not the same thing. And I grant you, when you're going in and you're starting with blacks and then you're adding colors, it is easier to understand, but then you're letting the inks do the heavy lifting for your shading and whatnot. And I think I'm coming into this place where I really kind of am preferring seeing the colors do the heavy lifting on these pieces, because I couldn't get that natural skin tone, the natural shaping of the forms and the structure from inks alone. I mean, you could get the indications, but it just wouldn't feel as natural and real as the colors do. Anyways, that's my Wonder Woman illustration cover. I'm just going to stop calling them sketch covers, because that's an illustration. You could see that on the frickin' bookshelf as a published piece, right? Am I right? Well, right now that's available. I'm sorry, the guys, if any of you saw my Gwen Stacy one, I said it was available during the video. It got sold like right after my video came out. So that's not there anymore. I think the Carnage is still there if you want to check that video up. Anyways, check out my other videos. If you like what you see, like, subscribe, share. And again, join me over on Whatnot if you want to actually talk to me live and watch me illustrate these covers or cards or whatever I'm doing on there. I'm there pretty much every day around 3 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. Sometimes I'll do random streams here and there too. Anyways, that's it. Like, subscribe, share. Let me know what you think about this all in the comments section below. And hopefully I'll see you all on the next video.